Ochina a Val's Day. And so the conversation we're about to have is very, very important. I know, say, and your Val's Day in Kwana, you show love, but then at least it's a day that we all acknowledge, say, we go the extra mile to show love. But, you know, if you haven't yet let go of the past, there are a lot of people that have interacted with our Mwakase Womudia. They've given up on love. You know, they can do it again. They've been hurt, and their stories are real. So wouldn't you be story, you wouldn't know why they have taken the stand they have taken. So today, I believe is going to be therapeutic for anybody listening who finds themselves in that position. Letting go of the past hurts, the bridge to the newfound freedom. Dr. Freeman, none other, to help us to, you know, to come out of those emotional hurts. He's a medical doctor as well as a clinical psychologist. As to how we're going to let go of the past and find that freedom, because I think that we all need it in our lives. Dr. Mawakwaba.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you again.
Thank you. So it's Isaac Newman.
Isaac Newman.
Newman Atta.
Isaac Newman Atta. All right, okay. Welcome.
You either say Freeman or Newton or something. Newman.
Aqua. Atta. Okay,
Yeah,
Isaac Newman Atta.
Fanti Atta. Fanti Atta.
The Fanti Atta.
Yes.
All right, lovely. Now, we all find ourselves in, I love the concept of being a child, because no, BBI in its purest form, but then yenyia is slightly different. How does hurt, you know, physically, you know, set a person back? Let me take it from the physical. How does, you know, an event that has hurt someone physically impact on the health? About the mental part.
Okay, so there is something called hurt, and that is why there is a name called hurt. So we cannot trivialize it. You know, some people, they are too strong. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe when they lose something, they don't even want to cry. It's fake, you know, because it's real. Hurt is real. So if someone says, I'm hurting, it's real. It's real.
Aye.
And that reality is only an expression of some deep, you know, emotional disturbance. Something has happened that is deep, that is personal, that is valuable. We don't get hurt about things that are not valuable. The things that we love, that we place value on, that is what causes us to get hurt. And the moment the body experiences a certain stressor, so events that causes some kind of pain, some demand on us, is what stresses. So there are different forms of stresses. Hurt is part of stress.
Of stress. We are medical doctor and call the medical side kakra. A dear ben ne won nipa nimu entia an event etumima bibi eyene ya. Enyet say ye disi kenye channel, but then bibi will be a kana say a certain event etumima eyene ya.
Okay, so the body is not compartmentalized. Every part of the body affects other parts of the body. It's a whole system. It's just like this show. You know, you have cameras, you have cameramen, you have a stage, you have someone who cleans and all that. It's so interconnected that if one doesn't work, it affects the other. It's the same way the body is, right? So everything that happens in our environment, the body physically experiences it and responds to it because we pick information from our environment. There is a system in the body, actually two major systems in the body, that is really does a lot when it comes to interaction with the environment. You know, the nervous system and also the endocrine system. Though the other systems also helps us receive. So when I touch you, for example, you feel I touched you. You know, and if that touch is pleasant, you know, you have a pleasant feel. You know, because there are systems in the body that are interconnected to make you feel that way. So even the skin helps you receive from the environment, your eyes, your nose, you know, your tongue or your mouth, your hearing. These are senses in the body that makes you interact with the environment. So everything that is happening around us, we pick it. We pick it. And when we pick it, the signal is sent to the brain
brain, no,
to actually process and interpret it and send a response. Right? So it is so interconnected. So the brain has different parts. We have the frontal lobe, occipital lobe, we have the parietal lobe, we have all kinds of lobes. If you look at the brain and its structure, and every part of the brain and what it does. And it's so orderly. And that is why I believe that we didn't come by evolution, we came by creation. Someone has to design, because it is so networked and so, like, that is why if someone has a stroke means some part of the brain is not receiving blood, it's dying. So it affects everything else. When someone has a stroke, their speech is affected, movement is affected, because there is no part of your body that the brain does not influence.
Okay.
You understand? And in the brain too, there are certain chemicals that are released. We call them neurotransmitters that are released in response to whatever we're experiencing around. Right? And other parts of the endocrine system also releases things we call hormones. And they are actually interconnected. So, for example, if someone hugs you, it feels good because a chemical is released, oxytocin. It is that chemical that makes you feel good. It makes you feel good.
Okay.
Anytime you are under any stressful event, the body releases certain chemicals. We have the, what do you call it? The cortisols, we have the other catecholamines like what do you call norepinephrine, epinephrine, and those, they are released.
Okay.
And those chemicals controls certain systems and activities of the body. Your heart rate, your breathing, your sugar control, your immunity, and the rest. That is why even when someone is hurt for a long time, they're grieving for a very, very long time, they're in this constant pain, and or when they're under severe stress, they get sick all the time because cortisol is continually released, sugar control is bad, immunity goes down. You understand? BP starts going up because those catecholamines like the epinephrine, norepinephrine, those ones, they affect, blood, pressure and all those things. So what people experience just by an event is because the body physically, in terms of all the physical things, changes in the body is actually responding to that. So if there is a consistent response, it means that the body is in this high response state for a longer period of time. And that is when they start developing some chronic health problems, like the hypertension, the diabetes, like the cancers. They age quickly. Those who are always hurt, always, emotional, always, you see, they age quickly. So why you paying in term? Ebi obi owa warasi awa bre. Our any papa no. Something fresh be new ho. As we need term do. And your skin becomes bad. Everything, you age quickly, cancers go up, bone problems, libido goes up. There are some people, because of all these problems, they don't even have libido for anything. So the body is so networked. And that is why someone will say there is no health without mental health. Because something that started on a level of mental health, someone hurt you, right, is now gone and affected your physical well-being. And they are all interlinked, very, very connected.
All right. What kind of badaya? Any people who want more natural when you badaya na?
Well, it's not naturally. Everybody naturally has it. Obi are naturally no abadai. And that is what you talked about kids and their innocence. Yes. But ye ni no. Nya ye femu no. Ema abadai no. Eba mo anase mbakra. For example, every criminal has people they love.
It's true.
They will not send their criminality to.
No, correct.
In just abadai bi wo.
Obia
will be. Okay. Just that the extent to which they express it is different.
Yes.
And it's dependent on how they've grown up. Imagine growing up, you were a young boy, 5 years. You saw someone kill your mother. That image never goes away. And if Nipakrona interpreting here, it goes in a negative direction. They will hate everybody. And they will have a very wicked mindset about life. And they don't mind killing other people.
Okay. It's only day no near bada na bada.
It's not bad, I know as a cop, but a biwo. Because that same people who is killing other people would have people they love.
Yeah.
And express that abayetu, abadayetu. But ubi a abadaye pa no.
Yeah.
Wohwe na brabo na we afa bibi mu ama wenya saa abadaye no. That kind of heart of kindness.
Yeah.
Such that omu obi awabrea. And some people may even go through some pain. And out of the pain, they realize that our pain is not good. It's a
okay.
So they may even have an advocacy for that. For example, be a European, very, very terrible experience, right? Someone can become very, very bitter and even go on revenge, sex, punishing other guys.
Yes.
Maybe you'll be a man simple.
Yes.
Through that, no, the person can go spread it out of that pain. Another person will say, what I went through, I don't want anybody to go through. So they may even start an NGO to educate people about HIV or help victims of rape, so that they don't go through that. Pain has its own benefits, but it depends on how the person evaluates the pain at the time that there's a pain.
Now that you talked about evaluation, Ansani Ebe call through now the healing process of reversing this emotional, event and our pain. What makes Nipano decide near your head? In your earlier submission, you've already talked about your physical near harboring of pain, physically to us, and your mental health. Now, as a Nipa, a dear ma because you're innocent, and your dear na you pick it within ye ni moi, and my feel say, me, who can't say chemia a your head. Me, we say ye. Adi ebe yo bi wa oka sem ono mfa na ho gise bia wa bɔ no obi won so wasem asem ba ko pa obeka na watam enu to me ye enu ne head nti adi ebe na as human beings ye deform sa niema eye event eye
nti wuni no you start interacting with your environment as a near OPK from your parents, especially parents, and the medical terms we say significant others. Into Omua who feel say they are yours, they are the ones who take care of you, who are around you. So your family members, your immediate family members and immediate society or friendships. And you pick things from them. Now who picking becomes your reality.
Okay.
Inti say who akola na se dibiano o ye no with a particular word. Oni no onti asye, but eyeya. Like for example, we had an what do you call it? An intervention for about 40 kids somewhere in the Eastern region. They had attempted suicide over the past 2 years. They've had some suicidal behavior over the past 2 years.
What age difference?
From 7 to 12.
Wow.
Yes. And one of the girls I saw, who said there's a problem. Says 2 years back, the father called, the papa catch and said, when him say a boy be. That's what the father told. Your face looks like an animal. And a child who is growing, not dreaming, because the brain, the part of the brain for decision making, cognitive functioning, then matures fully by mid-20s. Internet before 25, your decisions behind said and your papa. In your 30s, you look back and why did I even do this, do that? Because it's not your fault. Your brain is still growing.
Okay.
By mid-20s, and now that part, anything I be about to occur, we say after 18.
Okay.
It should be after 25. I think so.
Okay.
Right, I think so. Because that's when, when you look at science, will tell you that around mid-20s, that is when that part of the brain is developed. Inter-akola oni and you may be okachirena on tiasie because I dreaming to me picky. And then the fault. Into usuma akola say, kofa we bremi. Okache penny or tiasie because I dreaming. There's the brain itself.
Yeah.
And they say, okache akola we before say unko menstruate. A waste of time. Because the body need do menstruate. In the same way, brain also the certain things you do to a child. Your friend is saying, let me give you an example. There's a reason why every child writes on the wall. You wonder, why is he writing on the wall? Because right from KG or right from nursery, oko schooler, teacher actual by who
No crap.
blackboard so and now whiteboard
No
so.
crap.
But the brain of a child is not developed enough to tell the difference
Aye.
between a normal wall and
Any
a
wall
blackboard.
woofy. Okay.
And this oba actual wall. That's why every child writes on the wall.
No crap. No crap.
Woman
They like
depends
to
to see
write
and
on the wall.
control walls.
Aye.
Because now Jane say writing on the wall is good. Because the brain of a child.
Yeah, by looking.
Yeah, the brain of a child is a child's brain. Finish.
But your instances be a frabani na juneni because the homophobia will active very very much.
Well, so you realize that it depends on what you're exposed to.
Okay.
In terms of the learning, information, and training. Even that rules and kolasem.
All right.
Oh, nkola kromudi in penisem no rules or daso ya kola. But there's something about their growth that is not normal.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, the example I give. So if you buy extra buy who, that's who ya wabono. You shout at the child and beat the child. You are making a mistake.
So you're confused.
Because on TSA, why is my daddy beating me? I go to school, teacher is writing on the wall, nobody beats the teacher. Now I learn the same thing and I bring it. Sometimes if you even look at the things they've even drawn on the wall, they are very nice. Into all drawn no crown, office and papa ba. Or because why are dear? But instead you're born. In this yes, Anna, you are killing the child's confidence and creativity. And for example, my child has my kid one, she did one, and I said, you know, I became a bit, but I had to pause and think. That is why I came up with this.
Okay.
Then I realized that no, she's drawn daddy on the wall.
Oh.
That's she's
so
drawn.
Sweet.
Who said they were drawn. She wants to draw daddy on the wall.
Daddy.
And I said no, this is a wall. It's not a blackboard.
Okay.
Indeed, me man the paper say you don't write on the wall. Here, this wall no, you write in a book. Until since then, they don't write on the wall. And I think yesterday, for example, she came and said, my friend, you know, came to visit us and she's written on the wall. And we told her not to write on the wall.
The development will take place.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you asked about what causes pain.
Yes.
So the things that, you know, causes hurt in childhood doesn't affirm their own uniqueness. I'm feeling uncomfortable in childhood. It becomes internalized. And it becomes the trigger. Yes.
Okay.
Last week, for example, a gentleman came to me. You know, he's a bit skinny. And since childhood, they have been insulting with his size.
Oh.
And now he's very timid. No confidence to do anything. And he's in his 20s. If you also or Barbie.
No, but
papa. Oh, yeah, skinnier.
We are skinny penna.
No, you are down. And so childhood development and the triggers from childhood becomes the person's reality as they grow up.
Okay.
In you are dating someone, you make a comment.
Yeah.
You think it's on a lighter note, they should smile. They are not smiling. It's not you. You have reminded her of repeated things in the past. That makes her very uncomfortable. Someone where you sound like my father.
Ampa.
Or you sound like my mother.
So you're taking
something that they really, and maybe they even got attached to you because you made them feel differently from how they feel from home.
So that's what informs why people are so attached to certain people and can't let go.
Even certain foods, some people cannot let go certain foods because that is what they were weaned from. The foods that became the frequent thing whilst you were being weaned becomes your taste by everything develops around that. It will be fufu every weekend fufu because growing up. So we develop all kinds of value for things. Our value systems, what we place value system and what causes some level of hurt for us.
Mary Kane, they say education system there you look because it looks like you need a study for the brain for us to understand because growing up, they be our culture, use wagin, now use wagin. I didn't mean use wagin, but no one is teaching us how to use the mind. So,
you can't expect a child to be an adult because it's just like telling a 5-year-old that go and menstruate. The brain is also growing. Think about it. When you're in JSS, you met a guy you think will be your husband. You go to secondary school, you look back and say,
You look back, you're like,
why?
why?
Some of them, I mean, when I was secondary school, I wrote letters and stuff.
Yes.
You know, we used to write these letters on these colorful, colorful papers and the rest. Now, when you look at those, it's funny. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
That time, your brain development permitted that.
Permitted it. Okay.
And you think, and even your teenagers, you think, wabasu.
Aye.
And because your brain development to that point makes you feel that way.
Yeah.
And therefore, the moment you hit a certain age, you know, even Paul said, well, friend, when I was a child, I thought like a child.
But
You know, I behaved like a child. But when I grew up, I chose a child. So a child is a child. And every child even has to play. Like every child has to. As Columbia, it's all you know, after school, the first thing you tell your child is not go and do your homework or go and clean the house. The first thing you tell your child the moment they land from school is to go and play.
Actually, from the last time I was now when my son comes from school, say,
well done.
Well done. Well done. Go and play because they need that interaction to grow, brain growth.
We now use so how do we then, curve it?
Our intimate case will use an drink. In Kobe to me, use one we use. Man instructions are level. Now, so BBA is above him. Teach the child so that next time they can do it.
I think, sir, in all of this, this therapy, because your mama no woman. It's young so Kenya na yetia, we were also going to repeat the same thing. You I was constantly asking my son if you book. But then from the time I dog by your car, said there be a free school, but look at the number of hours we see there. Oba maninko diagro. And Pampa, it has changed a lot of things. So I think this is where the therapy is. Now let's go to, emotional hurts. Valentine or China, and I know, me Valentine because me and I love love, and I know, love is good. But then Kofu baby so many they don't want to hear, and am I hurt? And like you're saying, hurt is hurt. Your feeling won't to me and kasa one feeling into and no so emotional hurt ya habo ya say adani bricks upon bricks adani heavy way where you pay your day, I turn it around.
Yeah. Let me make a statement based on, I think, an earlier statement you made about love. You can't find true love and not experience more love.
You can't find true love
and not experience more love.
Okay.
Love never fails. Unfortunately, what we submit ourselves to as love is not love.
Okay.
That's where the problem is. So you meet someone, make statements to you, shows a certain things. You think that is love. But people do stuff for various reasons. A guy may meet you today, be all over you, do everything for you, send you all kinds of love notes and stuff like that. It doesn't mean what they have for you is love. And unfortunately, you may buy into it and think that is love. And after they get whatever they get, or after everything, feelings they are having dissipates, they walk away. And that is where the mistake is. So if you think that there is nothing like true love, it is wrong. Unfortunately, you have not found one yet. That is where the problem is. I want to make this very, very clear. And unfortunately, because of Val's Days and what people focus on Valentine's Day, that is what we think love is. Love goes beyond that.
I like that.
Gifts and buying iPhones and those things, or sex and those things. It goes beyond that. Let me give you an example. A husband who truly loves the wife will not have anal sex with the wife.
Yes.
Because anal sex is painful and will damage your wife. A husband who truly loves the wife, if the wife says, oh, and then my bread, when him say, wa bread, you will say, oh, honey, I understand. Because you love her. You don't want to have your way with her in pain. That is not love. Oh, I'm saying this in the very hard statements, but I'm saying that to differentiate between even married couples who say they love each other, but they are hurting each other, that is not love. If you find true love, like for example, a parent who truly loves the wife, the child, Who say? What friend will say, "What oba ebibi was school?" And yeah, odu school. What did you do? Teachers will talk. Ebi obey the young cafe. On go ni ba n'anim si wo school ho. Or
Right in front of the
Chenya,
teachers
the
and
kofi ansa. Go jo brane nkasa. Maybe even in the school obey defending no. Okofia ona kokanya nyasasem.
Yeah.
Because odo. Ne ban be kwa that prison still obey visiting on the aduane akọ. No matter what the child does, even when the child dies, they are there to bury and cry over the child. And so anytime even the Bible talks about love, there is some comparison with a mother's love. Oh, can the mother's love for his child? He says, yet it may, but I the Lord. You know, so there is this love. Love endures. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is, does not rejoice in evil. Love is, I think, 1 Corinthians 13. You know, there is love.
Yeah.
Unconditional kind of, affection for people where, so their weaknesses, their strengths, yet you say, I'm with you.
Yeah.
To clean you up through the situation, to make sure that the best comes out of you.
Yeah.
That is love.
Yeah.
And then around here is only in words and sex and those things. Those things is eros, erotic kind of love that may even be through lust. That is very short-lived. It doesn't go anywhere. But when it comes to marriage, which is a lifelong relationship, you need that purest form of love.
Yes,
and so before marriage, person is always demanding. If you don't sleep with him, he wants to walk away. He will be say, if you don't sleep, I'll sleep with another person. It should tell you that it is conditional. There's conditions around you as a person.
He's with you because of what he needs.
Of what they would get. Someone, if anybody wants to marry you and ask you, what do you bring to the table? It's transactional. It means that so far as it doesn't come to the table, that is not a foundation for. What about those who have nothing on the table and they live somewhere and they don't even have anything, yet they are struggling through life, building things through life, and they are that is love. You see, love is revealed when there is nothing to hold on to. There, onishi, but yet, weina, meaning I love them. And it's divine. So a lot of people are walking around, they are hurt by this person because they think it's love. It is not love. But unfortunately, we are very, very casual with things. Now that's why there are too many people hurting now.
Yeah.
Because what we have for each other is really like fancy things. For example, you are very, very pretty. Right? Someone sees you, wow, this girl is pretty, papa. Let me take her number. Now start chatting you up. Charlie, this, that, start describing you, saying things and stuff, all the butterfly things here and there. And it's all the description of what they want. So when you are in a certain, relationship with them, right? And that relationship now, when they come, and what the expectations are, they don't get it. They walk away. And that is not love.
All right.
So layers upon layers, like you're saying. So you meet this person, so some dating shouldn't even come off at all.
Is there ways one can safeguard themselves from getting hurt?
Well, hurt is part of life, and sometimes, because we live in an imperfect world, we have imperfect judgments about things, right? Even your parents who may be nice to you now, next time they may not. Yeah. So things change. So hurt is part of our daily life. So we need to acknowledge that it's there and focus on the good about hurt. So when we go through pain uncovers many things about us.
Okay.
Through pain, we reform. Through pain, we get to understand things better. Me, for example, I accept everybody. I expect everybody. There are people who come to me and they say, Doctor, it's only you I can talk to because I know you will not judge me. I have people who come like that. Me, I won't judge you or anything. You come and we chat, whatever you want to do with your life. That's your business. Right? But I want to give you the right information and you make your own choices. Yeah. Right? And it's because I've gone through things. Some painful past experiences here and there. So pain has a way of making you understand. If you find someone who is very, very proud and doesn't respect people and is throwing their weight about, they've not really experienced things about what people really experience. They are not in touch with reality.
Okay.
And you see someone who is hungry, if you've been hungry before,
Aye.
and you've seen someone hungry, you know how it feels.
No, correct.
Your attitude
No,
towards
correct.
them is different.
No, correct.
So through that pain, you have been able to recognize some aspect of your life that was not there.
Absolutely.
And that is why God sometimes even allows these things. Because the human condition is so bad. Think about it, someone sold God. Obi tonya me. The human condition is so worse that when God decided to walk on earth once, someone decided to sell him. That Obi tonya me, no, I know. Last time when I was thinking, it's serious. Someone put God for sale and sold him. So the human condition is so bad that, life has a way, or God has a way of using diverse things to get at us, to refine us, to become what will fit our destiny.
Yeah.
But be said, also do unto others as you like others to do unto you.
Yes.
But obi your bonia, I don't dream obi to me there again. What informs that?
I think that different situations provoke different things. And sometimes someone can hurt you unintentionally. They genuinely had this affection for you, but they realized later on that probably they still have the affection for you, but the decision was wrong, right? So you may think that they did you bad, but it wasn't intentional. But others too, they will plan and do you evil,
Okay.
right? And anybody who does another person evil, they have their own internal conflicts they've not dealt with, and they carry it on other people. When you meet an angry person, it's a sign that they are angry with you. You meet some elderly people, maybe lecturers. I talk about lecturers a lot because sometimes you wonder why a lecturer will do what they do. Like you meet a certain lecturer who wants you to pass.
Yeah.
If you are struggling, they'll call you. Why are you struggling?
Yeah.
You send them your project work. They want to do it quick. Like they are helping. They want you to move on. But you meet others too who want to sit on your promotion and make sure that make sure that it's a sign that you are not fulfilled in there. Until you carry it on other people. Anybody who is self-actualizing, they're making it in life, fulfilling, living. External things do not push them too much. Positions in life doesn't really. They have a way of. Really, if you are fighting them, they will just leave you to fight them.
Doc, in our condition now, right now, there are people watching us, I'm sure, say they are hurting. Whether it's because of love, whether it's because of BBC, whether because of childhood event. As we speak right now, they are hurting. What are some of the processes as starting to turn it around? Because I believe, say, even the hurts now could stumbling block to other things. In Tiama, on to open itself up to other good things. What are the processes we are all going to start in order to begin to, to heal?
There are three things that I would suggest.
Okay.
The first one is that recognize that you are hurt.
Okay.
And allow yourself to grieve. Who say, Jitum say, Bibi ehau, Bibi ayoya. Don't deny it.
Okay.
Okay, don't be in denial.
Don't be in denial.
Okay.
Now allow yourself to grieve.
All right.
So feel it will be soon. Like allow yourself to let it go. Because when you pretend you are too strong, that emotion is hiding somewhere. And it may turn into anger or something.
You see the way I sighed, that was a big one.
Yes, so allow yourself.
Sometimes you want to be strong because I always say, I don't want to break down.
Yeah, so there's
thing.
a reason for tears. Tears wasn't created just for it to be there. Tears must be expressed. No, it's okay to cry. It's okay to talk about how you feel. So allow that you don't be too
vulnerable
strong.
Side of
Actually,
us
I'm strong. I don't want. No. Don't be too strong. We are all not strong.
Yeah.
Even Jesus wept. So don't worry. It's okay to weep, to go through that.
Yeah.
Whilst you're going through that, it goes to the second thing. Process whatever you are going through in a positive way.
Okay.
Processing in a positive way. Right? For example, someone lived with probably a stepmom. Or someone can be very bitter about that situation and hate everybody for life.
Yeah.
Another person will say, because mommy way, only me family, now I am independent. Now I am resourceful. Now my family anka. Minim send ye save sika ni adem. So the second person may be even thankful
For the situation.
for the
or home.
situation.
Okay.
And now even use his background to help other people. So that evaluation is so important. So if, for example, a lot of guys or girls have hurt you, now through the hurt, you have become something positive. You know, why not focus on that positive thing and use that positive thing to influence your next relationship and decisions, instead of using the bitter things to influence your next. And this evaluation is on 3 things. 1, we are all defined at every point in time by 3 things: our past, our present, and our future. Have I shared this here before? Our past, present, and future. That is what defines everybody.
Okay.
Your past, the only way you know you have a past is because you have a memory. If, for example, you have an accident and you lose your memory, you can't even remember whatever. So the pain associated with that past, you will not even experience it. So it means that your past is not real, but it is true.
It existed.
It's true, but it's not real.
It's not
because the product of your memory is up here.
Okay.
And again,
And it can be erased.
it cannot be erased. So it is true.
It's in your subconscious or
But the reality of it in your present is not real. It's a product of your memory. Because utumi kainti, anything that you have pain around it. There are a lot of things that happen to me in childhood. Mean kai, associated with it mean Filippo.
Does it mean so what's subdue?
No, it's not you've subdued. There are things that you just
Unkai.
no, a lot of things you don't remember.
Okay.
So memory is so important when it comes to your current state. Then again, your future is not real. Because it's only a product of your imagination. So because I can imagine something in future, I think I have a future. And depending on what you imagine, it will affect your current state.
Yeah.
Until I say you are hopeful, you are imagining good things. I will do well. Even if I fall, I'll rise. You know, this year, no, economic is no good, but I will make it. No, I think I'll start business here and there. You know, you wake up every time hopeful. You want to meet the next day. Even if you don't have money, you are moving on. Because you have imagined a certain future. But someone is sitting in his house, imagining that the year will be worse. Imagining that you couldn't be giant. Boy, will be giant. So now your current state is determined by your imagination.
Okay.
So why should an imagination and memory, which is not real, determine your current state? You know why? So when you can't erase the past.
No, it's real that.
But anytime you remember the past, why not remember the good about the past and be more thankful?
I like that.
You can't control the future. Why not imagine the good thing? Because imagining negative will not change the future. It would only make the experience worse. But imagining the good things about it, it may not even come to pass, but it makes the journey comfortable.
I like that.
And that is why those who don't want problems, they will not even imagine. They will live in the moment.
They'll live in the moment.
And you see, those who live in the moment, they seem to be happier.
Oh, wow.
We are no can what's as a man think it, so is he.
So is he.
I am positive, sir. In this few minutes, we've shared this conversation.
I forgot to say the last one. Seek help. Seek help.
Seek help. I like
so acknowledge you have pain. You know, have a positive evaluation of the past events. Then seek help if you realize you are drowning.
Yeah.
Because when you meet a professional like a psychologist or something, I mean, University of Professional Studies.
Oh, right.
No, UPSC, there's a clinic in there. You know, there are all other psychologists and people who are around. UPSC is a very, very good place.
Yeah.
You know, when people pass, they wonder, is there a clinic? Yes, there's a clinic in the school.
Wow.
Right? So seek help. Because there are professionals who have been trained to help you evaluate things well and that kind of thing. Those 3 things, I think, helps.
Every day that I sit here, I think, sir, I always say, yen seek help. Seek help. Me sure say Nana Pay. I've been healed in a certain way. I don't know about you. Meaning so was baby, and the healing process has already begun. But you know, this is good for us. Ebema ochina, very good. This week, very good. This love month, very good because now we have a better. You know, we're taking the hurt away and we're approaching life better. Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur.
Yeah, you got it right.
Where can
that's
people,
it.
where
I was
can people
making my
reach
cane
you?
ready.
Where can people reach you? Any number or something like
Oh,
that?
reach me. Okay, so only WhatsApp.
Only
Okay.
WhatsApp.
Only WhatsApp. If you call me, I will not pick. And don't call to find out whether the number is true. No, don't do that.
I know
So
it.
0249
0249
802
802
500.
500.
0249 802 500. Only WhatsApp.
Okay.
And if you want to find me, I'm University of Professional Studies.
University of Professional
It's a normal clinic.
Oh,
We
right.
attend to all kinds of problems. You have doctors, nurses, everybody there. You know, I think the VC, Professor
Yeah.
Amate, very, very sharp guy. So health is very, very important
like
to
that.
us. So people can also find me there. The other psychologists there too. But wherever it is, walk into any hospital. If you want any hospital around.
No, we don't want any.
You-
We want where we get the right
No,
help.
but there are psychologists spread
Yes,
everywhere.
absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
also the PRO of Ghana Psychological Association.
Yes, just that
so-
moon shedanya visible and no dear man kana meboa. Moon visible.
So we have started.
Mo offices enye clear psychologists a unam chromo a wo behunu o ti ase.
There's a reason for it. People attach some stereotype, something to places like that. And if you are too visible, obi cry walking
Yebeka so we
stigma
be.
Okay. It's intentional.
No, I got
Anyway,
it.
what can I say? But it's been an awesome morning.